How's it going, everybody? Daner here with North Central Coins, and welcome back to another episode of the most rare and valuable coins in Canada. Today, I'm going to be counting down the top 10 most valuable Canadian specimen nickels of all time. Canadian specimen coins before the year 1970 are extremely rare. Not only are they some of the most rare coins in Canada, but the entire world. A lot of the times, Canadian specimen sets struck before the year 1970 were limited to very few sets being made, sometimes even thousands or hundreds of the set, and this can highly affect their rarity and value. So in this list, we're going to take a look at the top 10 most valuable Canadian specimen nickels and discuss their potential value. Before I do start this list off, I would really appreciate if you guys would hit that thumbs up, subscribe if you are new, and also hit that bell notification so you can see my new videos as they are being released. In the past, I have made several videos detailing the rare and valuable coins from Canada, the United States, Australia, Britain, Germany, and several other countries, and I'm going to be making plenty more in the future, so make sure to stay tuned for those. But all of that being said, what do you say we get into today's list and count down the top 10 most valuable Canadian specimen nickels of all time? Let's get it, guys. So as I start this list off, I'm going to work my way from the least valuable all the way up to the most valuable nickel on this list. Some of these will actually be considered Canadian 5-cent coins, or fish scales as they are commonly referred to, but most of these are nickels, which later became the common reference for the Canadian 5-cent coin. So to start this list off with number 10, it is going to be the 1951 Canadian specimen nickel, and this is with the high relief designation. Now in the year 1951, there were a few different nickel varieties struck. There is the 1951 commemorative, but there are also the 1951 plain dates with a high and low relief designation. The 1951 high relief circulation strike is considered a holy grail amongst nickels, but the 1951 high relief specimen is extremely rare and valuable as well. For the circulation strike, very few of the high relief 1951s actually made it into circulation. A lot of the uncirculated rolls were claimed by collectors, but a few of them did get out. But if you can find one of the 1951 specimen high reliefs, which you might actually have a higher chance of finding, it can be worth around $1,750 for an SP62 and all the way up to $4,070 for an SP65. Now I do believe that high grade examples of the circulation strike are more valuable, so this may be a more accessible option if you are looking for a 1951 high relief. It is truly a beautiful coin with an extremely beautiful strike quality. Now there is also a missing chrome attribution that the circulation strikes can receive, and I'm not sure if the specimen strikes could receive them as well, but with modern technology, the chrome plating can chemically be removed from the coins, and this variety is no longer recognized by third-party grading services, unfortunately. Number 9 on this list is going to be the 1874 Queen Victoria 5-cent coin, and this is with the cross-slit 4 and a large date, and also an H mint mark indicating it was struck at the Hedon Mint. I will put an example of what the cross-slit 4 looks like for the 1874. In terms of value, it can be worth around $2,450 for an SP62 and all the way up to $11,800 for an SP64 example. You'll find that a lot of the old Queen Victoria specimen coins are worth a lot of money, especially on the high end. Another super important thing to take note of when it comes to Canadian specimen coins is the price jumps when the grade increases. The price difference between an SP60 and an SP65 can be extremely substantial. A coin that's only worth $100 at an SP60 could potentially be worth thousands or tens of thousands of dollars if it were to receive the SP64 or 65 attribution, and if it gets that 66 or 67, then you are talking a holy grail specimen coin. A lot of the time, collectors that dabble in the Canadian coin specimen market will actually buy these, crack them open, and resubmit them to grading companies and make a decent profit off of those, so it is definitely something to keep in mind. Number 8 is going to be the 1885 Queen Victoria 5-cent specimen coin, and this is with a large 5. I will put an example of what the large 5 looks like up on the screen right now. But for the 1885 5-cent specimen large 5, it can be worth around $6,400 for an SP62 example, and $11,800 for an SP64. Number 7 on this list is going to be the 1938 Canadian Specimen Nickel. Now this coin is actually quite special. Not only are 1938 Canadian specimen sets extremely rare and limited, but the 1938 Canadian Specimen Nickel is even more rare than some of the other denominations in the set. Of all of the 1938 specimen sets that were issued, not all of them actually contained the 1938 Specimen Nickel, which makes this one of the rarest specimen coins of all time and also one of the rarest Canadian nickels of all time, and this will definitely bring a substantial value as well. It can be worth around $7,400 for an SP63, around $17,500 for an SP65, and all the way up to $19,200 for an SP67 example. So this one is pushing $20,000, and that is for the 1938 Canadian Specimen Nickel. The 1938 Circulation Strike is also rare, but not nearly as rare as the 1938 specimen. I believe there's only a few examples of this accounted for, and it is one that is definitely coveted by experienced Canadian coin collectors. Number 6 is going to be the 1875 Queen Victoria small date with an H mint mark Canadian specimen 5-cent coin. The H mint mark indicates that it was struck at the Hedon Mint. I will put an example of what the small date 1875 looks like. In terms of value, it can be worth around $7,800 for an SP62 and all the way up to $19,400 for an SP64 example. And that is for the 1875 Queen Victoria small date H mint mark specimen 5-cent coin. Number 5 is going to be the 1942 Canadian Specimen Nickel, and this is in the nickel composition. In the year 1942, the Royal Canadian Mint switched up the composition of its nickel coinage to save metals for the war effort. Tombac is a brass alloy with high copper content and can contain 5 to 20% zinc. Tin, lead, or arsenic may also be added for coloration. It is cheap, malleable, and an alloy mainly used for medals or ornaments, decorations, and sometimes munitions. So in the year 1942, the Canadian Mint released specimen nickels in 2 compositions. They released one with the Tombac composition and one in the classic nickel composition. Now the 1942 Canadian Tombac specimen nickel is one of the most beautiful coins I have ever seen in my life, but the 1942 with the nickel composition is actually much rarer and more valuable. It can be worth around $5,900 for an SP62 and all the way up to $19,600 for an SP64. So if you ever find a 1942 in one of your coin roll hunts and it's looking really nice, then I might want to send that thing off to be graded because you might have yourself a holy grail. Number 4 is going to be the 1875 Queen Victoria 5-cent specimen coin with a large date and an H mint mark indicating it was struck at the Hedon Mint. I will put an example of what the large date looks like. In terms of value, the 1875 Queen Victoria large date specimen H mint mark 5-cent coin can be worth around $7,800 for an SP62 and all the way up to $21,800 for an SP64. Now we have crossed the $20,000 threshold. These coins are getting into the buku dollar territory. As I mentioned, some of the Queen Victoria specimen coins can be worth some insane money, and this just goes to show it right here. Number 3 is going to be the only King Edward VII coin on this list, but hey, at least he made it on, and that is going to be the 1902 H mint mark indicating it was struck at the Hedon Mint, and this is with a large H. Just one quick note, when it comes to a lot of these Canadian specimen coins, when they have a variety like the large 8 or maybe the crosslet 4, the specimen coins will usually only be produced in the one variety. For the circulation strikes, there might be 4, 5, 6, who knows how many varieties for the old Queen Victoria coins, but a lot of the time specimen coins will only come in the one variety. Sometimes they will have a few different varieties for the specimen coins, but in most cases they will only be released with one variety. So in terms of value, the 1902 King Edward VII H mint mark large H 5-cent coin can be worth around $3,430 for an SP62 and all the way up to $20,800 for an SP66 example. Now this is the most valuable King Edward VII Canadian 5-cent specimen coin, and definitely a good one to keep your eyes out for. If you ever buy silver in a scrap silver purchase, maybe from your coin shop, from your flea market, or on eBay, you never know when maybe you can scout out one of these Holy Grail coins. The chances of finding any of these coins outside of their sets is pretty much slim to nil, but never say never when it comes to coins. I've seen some pretty crazy things before, so you never know if maybe somebody got one of these sets handed down to them and they had no idea what to do with it, so they just cashed it in, or maybe they just traded it into a coin shop for the silver purchase. You never know, so always keep your eyes open. Number 2 on this list is going to be the last Queen Victoria 5-cent coin we're going to discuss. That is the 1884 specimen 5-cent coin with a near 4 variety. Now, as I just mentioned, the 1884 only comes in the near 4 variety for the specimen strike. There are several different varieties in the Queen Victoria range for the business strikes or circulation strikes, but it makes it pretty easy when it comes to the specimen because you don't have to identify any errors or varieties. But for the 1884 Queen Victoria near 4 specimen 5-cent coin, it can be worth around $9,800 for an SP62 and all the way up to $39,200 for an SP64. So if that thing was to get cracked open and resubmitted, there might be a massive price jump. You could be talking a $50,000, $75,000 coin, which is absolutely insane. I'm sure it probably already has been cracked open and resubmitted at some point. If not, the person has probably thought about it, but that is an extremely valuable old Canadian 5-cent coin. It is one of the smallest coins I have ever seen. They are super flimsy. They bend very easy. So to find one of them in good shape is very difficult, I will tell you that. Well, we have made it to number 1 on this list. I really hope you guys enjoy these videos and find them helpful. If you do, please smash that thumbs up. Also, subscribe if you're new and hit that bell notification so you can see my new videos as they are being released. All that being said, what do you say we get into number 1 on this list, which is going to be the 1921 Canadian 5-cent specimen coin. Now, for anyone who isn't aware, Canadian coins produced in the year 1921, specifically 5-cent and half-dollar coins, are some of the rarest and most valuable Canadian coins of all time. They are considered true holy grails by collectors and numismatists, and there is a good reason for them. There were very few coins produced in 1921. They were switching up the composition around this time from sterling to 80% silver, and a lot of the coins that were actually produced in 1921 were held by the mint and then later melted down. I'm not sure exactly what is the case with the specimen coins, but it would seem like they produced very few specimen sets in the year 1921, and then probably even less of the 1921 5-cent coins. A lot of people probably just want these to fill out their collections as well, considering so few of the circulation 5-cent coins got released. But the 1921 Canadian 5-cent specimen coins is one of the most rare and valuable Canadian coins of all time. It can be worth around $32,000 for an SP63 example, and this bad boy can be worth all the way up to $73,500 for an SP65 example. Now that is a whole lot of moolah. You could buy yourself a Tesla, you could buy yourself a brand new pickup truck, some very nice toys for a coin that is one of the smallest, lightest, most flimsy pieces of silver that I have ever seen in my life. Some might find it ludicrous, but if you understood the rarity of the 1921 5-cent coins and half dollars, then you would have an idea why it might hold such a value. But that is pretty much going to do it for this one, guys. I would like to announce that I have partnered with Lighthouse Canada. They are one of the largest and most reputable coin supply companies in North America. They have a website with a massive selection and inventory that can cover just about everything in your coin collecting journey. They have coin flips, microscopes, they have albums, just about everything you need to help you, whether you're coin roll hunting or just trying to build up your collection. So I suggest you go to lighthousecanada.ca, and if you enter the promo code DANE20 at your checkout, you can save 20% off of your order. I have also partnered with Charlton Press. They produce Canadian coin catalogs of the highest quality, and if you would like to find out the value of your Canadian coins, including all of the coins mentioned here on this list, then I definitely suggest you pick up one of their catalogs. If you go to charltonpress.com and enter the promo code DANE20 at your checkout, you will save 20% off of your order. So go to lighthousecanada.ca and charltonpress.com, enter the promo code DANE20 at your checkout. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Until the next one, peace out and have a good one, y'all.